Yeah, in fact,
Oh gosh.
I can follow that on page 33 of her book. She writes this kind of in the middle paragraph.
Gus, I'm going to cut you off because it's 10:07, and I'm going to leave because.
Okay, I'm going to make sure I get this in before you leave.
You get this in, and then we'll wrap.
My thoughts raced with the notion that racism was frightfully bigger and more sinister than I'd ever understood, and hardest for me that people like my own family and friends, people in charge, must have understood this to a certain degree, if not had a hand in its orchestration. This was intentional. This was manipulative. This was not freedom for all. And I totally agree. You write in the back of your book about donating. There was a black female in Missouri, a few miles down from Ferguson. She was arrested over the weekend. Kimberly Randall King. You can check it yourself. She was 21, black female, mother. They reported that she hung herself in her own jail cell with a T-shirt, which I just find that to be ridiculous. And there are quite a few of these incidents where black people are dying in handcuffs in a police car or in a jail cell under suspicious circumstances, and they just, it was suicide. You know, somehow he was handcuffed but he shot himself and killed himself in a police car. You talked about donating. I would like to make a compensatory investment request that you contribute to this family that is grieving over a dead mom, dead daughter, Kimberly King Carter. Is that something that you would be willing to do?
I'm willing to look into it. I'm really trying to donate to organizations, and I've got two who have been so supportive of me that they're the ones that are most on my mind. But I will definitely look this up tomorrow and check it out. And if it's happening to lots of people, I want to know more about that. So that's what's grabbing my attention. But I will look into it.
That doesn't sound very committal. I'll send you the article, or I guess I don't have your email directly, or I guess it's on your website. I'll send it to Miss Kylie, and I'll see is your email address on your website?
No, it's not, but you can send it to Miss Kylie, and she'll send it to me.
Okay, I'll send you the report. It's at stlouistoday.com. Her name again is Kimberly, Kimberlee, Kimberly Randall King, a 21-year-old black female and a mom. She was just pronounced dead over the weekend, but I'll send you the information. I think that would be very constructive to directly help out a grieving family and a mother on top of that. But I will get the information. That does not sound very strong to me. At any rate, folks can check the website, DebbieIrving.com, DebbieIrving.com. The book again, Waking Up White and Finding Myself in the Story of Race. Admitted racist Debbie Irving. Thank you for your time. Hope folks got some information from you being with us on the program this evening.
It's been real. Thank you, Gus.
Evening.
Bye-bye.
Context of white supremacy, Debbie Irving. Thanks for hanging out with us. I told several folks, I told them highest level of foolishness in my life. Normally, if we have a guest on the program, I try to get some constructive information if it's a white person. Now, we should have a white woman on the program tomorrow. She wrote that book, The Weak Money. I think folks saw the video that she did online where it looked like somebody just randomly stopped her. I guess they were talking or whatever, and they decided they were going to make a video. Even though she is white and she is married to a black male, which we definitely will make sure that we bring up. But that book at least has some constructive information. At least has some info that I learned, things that I can use. I still have, concerns. I think that, you know what it is. But there's just nothing. This book is absolutely ridiculous. It's supposed to be intended for white people. I don't even think it would benefit white people. If anything, the only thing that in reading this book, I think this is a manual for how white people can practice racism, white supremacy in a coded fashion. Where all you need to do is tell black people that you're ignorant and stupid and you were duped and you just didn't know that you were white and you just didn't know about racism and you just didn't learn this information. Just keep saying it. I was ignorant. I just didn't know. Plausible deniability. I think that term came up over the weekend. It's in that same vein that I just keep saying that you don't know And most black, because she spells it out in the book. If you go to these conferences, Dr. Eddie Moore Jr., if you just keep saying that, most black people, they will believe you. If you can do it and get to a point where you can have some sincerity, most victims, you can trick them. They will think, yep, this is a well-meaning white person and we'll come and miss out on opportunities for resources. That was, I mean, you talk about disgusting for her to be at a conference. And it was a black person that recommended she attend a conference that's specifically designed for non-white people, professionals of color. That's the language that she used. You attend, you practice racism, the non-white people call you on it, you sit and mope, and then a gang of non-white people, they miss out on their own workshops to come and puff you up and tell you that you're great and don't feel bad and stay and soothe. And I mean, that is despicable. That is the worst of the worst. I would only, anybody who's listening to this program, you shouldn't have white friends in the first place, where you're never in position to be recommending that a non-white person come hang out in an environment where non-white people are going to be talking about racism. That's one. But I mean, God, never. When I say do not help white people, do not help white people. We have been conditioned to do that. Farrah Winfrey, she's an admitted racist, but she talked about this, where she would do the same thing. She would go to these types of seminars and the White Privilege Conference, and they have other conferences like that. And she said she would go and she started crying, and a black person told her, like, do not ever do that. If you're going to cry, exit, compose yourself, and then come back, because if you stay here as a white person, particularly a white woman, and you start crying, all of the focus is going to go to you, and the black people are going to use all of their, because that's how we've been conditioned. It's not even an indictment of them. It's just they know this is how we have been programmed over centuries. This is the importance, the significance of the help, of Gone with the Wind. And it's tons more examples where this is the way black people have been trained to function. We know Dr. Eddie Moore Jr., married to a white, the soothing lotion. The conference is not beating up on white people. He said that when he was on the program. This is how we have been contaminated to take care of white people. Oh, you're a great white person. You're just here. Just your presence is, spectacular, and you're doing the work, and don't feel bad. Buck up, and I'm going to stay and not even go to my session so I can hold your hand and give you the soothing and comfort. I mean, that is ridiculous of the highest form. You really got to be on the ball about this sort of thing, because I think it's going to be more and more white people who give you this sort of presentation when they talk about racism and make it out that black people are the experts on racism. That's why I play that clip all the time, where it's black people are the smartest people in the world on racism, and white people are the dumbest, and nothing could be further from the truth. At minimum, the white people who are carrying out these acts, frequently it's a lot of white people who write these books. Red Summer, Topello mentioned, Cameron McWhirter, he wrote a book on this. He's a white man. He's been a guest on this program, and he writes for the Wall Street Journal. He's done stories there on racism. Frequently you have the guest tomorrow. She cites that very same book, Red Summer, with Cameron McWhirter. She cites that. Danielle McGuire, white woman. She's written extensively about white male raping black females, non-white females in general, but particularly black females. White people are not ignorant. They're not stupid. At minimum, you have a significant chunk of the white minority population that is doing, as she said in her book, I'll read it again, where she says, I never understood, and hardest for me, that people like my own family and friends, people in charge, must have understood this to a certain degree, if not had a hand in its orchestration. This was intentional. This was manipulative. Directly from her book, page 33. That's what we need to be focused on right there. And white people always make, in my opinion, exactly as she said, they make a deliberate, intentional, manipulative effort to downplay and minimize that you have tons, if not all, of white people actively, consciously, deliberately engaged. And that's why you still have incidents like what happened with Darren Wilson and him getting all this money, Daniel Holtzclaw, him getting all this money and him being released from prison, and this being replicated globally. This is not unaware. This is not ignorance. This is deliberate racism. And her book, it's not even worth toilet paper. In my opinion, you just look at it as this is a manual for white people, how you can trick non-white people so that they don't think of you as racist.